Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Saturday morning practice. It's nice to see all of you again. Thank you. Good morning, Myra. Good morning, Kat. Good morning, Koal. And so we're going to spending the next hour and a half together back to our weekly boot camp. Boot camp is a place where you do some intense training so you can actually use it when you need it. And we need it all the time. So today we rotate. For those of you who are new here, we rotate every week. And today we're going to come back to a basic breathing exercise, abdominal breathing. The Chinese call it tu na. Tu means to breathe out, na means to breathe in. But with the understanding that it's actually done with the stomach, but more precisely, it's done with the diaphragm. And this is how we used to breathe when we were first born. We didn't have any muscle when we were first born, remember? And so, but we did have the diaphragm, and the diaphragm allows us to breathe in and breathe out. And we want to return to that. That's the state where we had the best balance in our what we call Qi, right? Our life force. So we're going to start with doing some joint exercise, and for obvious reason, first to warm up the body. But as we do the tune-out exercise, you will notice that it looks a lot like Tai Chi, and that is because our Dharma master used to be a Tai Chi master. Before that, he was actually a practitioner of the Shaolin martial arts. So there's a lot of elements of that. And when you do Tai Chi, you have to develop the harmony between your joints, your wrists versus your heel, your elbow versus your knee, and then your shoulder versus your hip. So we're going to be doing joint exercise on the upper body first, starting with um, our elbow. This is called not the heel. This is called and then also the shoulder. Okay. All right. So, but before we do anything, wrist. And before we do anything, let's sit properly. Let's just learn to sit properly. Our yang energy, and so you will hear me talk about yang and yin. Yin is the absence of the sun. That actually describes our rest and digest mode. When we're back in the days when we were living in a cave, that's a place where we find comfort and security. And so our body is not excited. We don't release any stress hormone. But then when you're outside the sun, that we call the yang, now we're in the fight flight. Our body release stress hormone to reduce inflammation. If you can maintain the harmony, then you have the best of two worlds. You have it when you need it, and then you can restore your body to function when you don't need it. The stress hormone, particularly the cortisol, is more like a traffic cop for your body. Okay, so let's just sit properly, and our spine is actually where our life energy exists. And so let's start at the very bottom of our spine. Let's learn to stretch our spine upward by walking up the spine, understanding that there are like at least 22, 23 joints in the spine. So we want to stretch as if we're opening the space between the joints. Stretch it as hard as you can towards the ceiling. And then we're going to lean back and then relax. Now we're putting the weight of our upper torso on the spine and relying less on the muscles in the back. Now we're going to take a shoulder, lift it up as high as we can, as if we are bringing our ears bringing our shoulder to our ears. And then we're going to open the shoulder as far back as we can, as if we were squeezing a tennis ball in the back. And then we're going to relax, drop our shoulder, relax the upper torso. Now we come to the forehead. Let's focus on the forehead. Bring back our head, putting the ears on top of the shoulder. And if you wear a shirt with a collar, your neck should be touching the collar right now. And you will notice that, again, you feel a sense of lightness because you're putting the weight of your head on top of the spine. as if you're putting a bowling ball on top of a bamboo stick, not using the neck muscle as much as before. But then now I want you to kind of tuck in your chin with the top of the head pointing to the sky. The name of this posture is called one pillar supporting the sky, as if your body is the conduit, is the support system between heaven and earth. When we talk about qi, life energy, we're really talking about the energy that's passing through you, going out into the universe. We call that yang. And then the restorative energy comes back, and it's called the yin. And I want you to remind yourself that we are human beings, but we tend to forget that we are beings before we are human. And being means that we have to live in harmony with the universe, with planet Earth, with each other, with all the other beings. We often forget that. Now we're ready to do a joint exercise. Keep in mind that this is actually a meditation process. I call that mindfulness in motion. Our body can be moving or it can be still. When we're still, that's when we sit, stand, and lie down. And when we're moving is when we're walking or when we're doing exercise. So when you're moving, you focus on your body. And when you're still, you focus on your breath. So right now, I want you to anchor your mind on the center of your palm. And then I want you to bring up your hand, both hands, all the way up to the shoulder level. I want you to now anchor your mind on your wrist. And then I want you to turn your wrist one turn at a time, one turn at a time. Now, we're trying to develop a new habit, understanding that everything that happens around us happens in cycle. There is the beginning, and then there is the end. The end is actually the beginning of the next cycle. So we need to figure out what to do during the cycle. In the beginning of each cycle, I want you to check to see if your mind is actually on your wrist. If it's not on your wrist and it's wandering around, I want you to bring it back. And as soon as you bring it back, I want you to commit to this one life cycle from the beginning to the end. And in that cycle, I want you to focus on observation, observing the change on your wrist. Now we're going to turn the other way. And again, I want you to anchor your mind on your wrist. At the beginning of each cycle, develop this new habit of checking your mind. Your mind is somewhere else. It's very easy to find. It's either in the past, clinging to the past, clinging to the memory, or it's in the future, trying to figure out things that hasn't happened yet. So just bring it back and observe the change on your wrist. Now I want you to lower your hand, so focus on the center of your palm again. Bring it back down very slowly, very gently. And once again, come back to the sitting posture. Lift up your shoulder as high as you can. Lean back, open your shoulder, and then relax the shoulder, relax the upper torso. We're going from the wrist to the elbow, so once again, focus on the center of your hand. Bring it up. Now anchor your mind on your elbow, one cycle at a time. Trying to observe any change in your body, see if there's any heat, any sweat, any numbness, any kind of tingling, maybe even pain. Just pay attention to what happened to your body. One turn at a time, one turn at a time, one turn at a time. Now go the other way. One turn at a time, one turn at a time, one turn at a time, one turn at a time. Now I want you to lower your hand back to the postures. Lift up your shoulder all the way up. Lean back, open your shoulder all the way back. Drop your shoulder, drop your upper torso. We're going from the wrist to the elbow, now to the shoulder. Focus your mind on the center of your palm. Bring up your hands, both hands. Crossing your hand very gently, very mindfully, following the center of your palm in front of you, on top of you. Now I want you to point all the fingers towards the ceiling. Stretch your upper torso, stretch your arm as hard as you can. Now I want you to point the center of your palm outward. Open that shoulder. Feel the pain on your shoulder. Realize that the pain is already gone. What's left is just the memory of the pain. I want you to let go of the memory. Come back to the center of your palm. Bring it in front of you. Bring it on top of you. And then stretch as hard as you can. Point the palm outward. Open the shoulder. Feel the pain on your shoulder. Let go of the memory of the pain. Come back to the center of your palm in front of you. All the way up. Stretch. Open that shoulder. Open that shoulder. Feel the pain on your shoulder. Let go of the memory of the pain. Come back. We're going to do this 2 more times. Stretch as hard as you can. Open the shoulder. Feel the pain on your shoulder. Let go of that pain. 1 more time. 1 last time. All the way up. Stretch. All the way open. Feel the pain. Let go of the pain. Now we're going to go the other way. Open the shoulder first. Stretch as hard as you can. Bring it back down. Open the shoulder. Stretch as hard as you can. Open, coming back down. Open the shoulder. Stretch as hard as you can. Bring it back down. 2 more times. Open the shoulder. Stretch as hard as you can. Bring it back down. Open the shoulder. Stretch as hard as you can. Now bring it back down. We're going to go front to back. Front to back. So again, back to the posture. Lift up your shoulder. Open that shoulder. Lean back and then relax. Now focus on the center of your palm. Bring it in front of you. And then very gently on top of you. Now, you know the pain is coming, right? So we're going to confront that pain. We're going to feel the pain. Accept that pain. Let go of the memory of the pain. Come back to the center of your palm. Open the shoulder. Feel the pain on your shoulder. Let go of that pain. Come back to the center of your palm. All the way up. Feel it. Accept it. And then let it go. All the way up. Feel it. Accept it. And then let it go. All the way up. Feel it, accept it, and then let it go. Let's do it 2 more times. Very mindfully anchor your mind on the center of your palm. Feel the pain on your shoulder. Let go of the pain. 1 more time. All the way up. Feel the pain on your shoulder. Accept that pain. Let go of the pain. Now we're going to do from back to front. Okay? All the way back. Bring it up. Stretch. Bring it back down. All the way back. Stretch. And then bring it back down, all the way to the back. Stretch, and then down, all the way to the back. Stretch, and then bring it back down. 2 more times, all the way to the back. Stretch, and then down. 1 more time, all the way to the back. Stretch, and then bring down the hand. Now we're going from moving to not moving, going from dynamic to static. So when we're sitting, remind yourself, it's very simple. When you move, anchor your mind on your body. Bottom of your feet, center of your palm, your fingers, wherever. Okay? Just don't let that mind drift away. If it drifts in the past, if you do that too much, it becomes depression. Right? You always worry about things that already happened. It's in the past. It's just in the memory bank. Nowhere else. Or you spend too much time in the future getting worried about all the things that could have happened. Over time, you develop anxiety. It's not that hard to understand. So it's a very basic skill of focusing on your breath when you're sitting still, when you're standing, or when you go to bed, when you lie down. It is a very simple exercise to do when you're moving, mindful of your body. Don't let it drift all over the place. I use the word anchor. I told the story, right? Imagine that you're just a little boat and you're in the middle of the ocean and you encounter a typhoon and you can't get back into the safe harbor fast enough. And you can't just run into the cliff because that would sink your boat. So you park somewhere, you throw the anchor. That's what you're doing right now. Is learn how to throw the anchor when you're in the middle of the storm. It can be a very simple storm, and yet it can turn over the boat, right? So it was my mother's 90th birthday on Saturday. And she has 3 sons, 9 grandchildren. It was a big family. And so together, we basically had the Chinese banquet usually sit around 10 people. So we had 40 people, plus a few relatives. So my mom actually was very excited, very happy. Yeah, everybody was very happy. And then afterwards, she said, maybe next year we don't invite so many people. I said, Mom, you didn't invite anybody. It was all just family. And so we have a little WhatsApp group just between the 3 brothers that we don't use. We hardly ever use. It was only used to coordinate these events for my mom. The rest of the time is dormant. And for some reason, one of our sister-in-law decided to post some video about mental health. She did it with the best intention, I'm sure. But somewhere in the back of my mind, I think she was going through some difficulty. And maybe she just wanted to share. Well, this morning, I discovered 16 messages on that same group that we hardly ever use. And my brother had a lot to say. And I can imagine what people do when they just express their opinion or their emotions on text messages. It's never good. It's never good. You know what I'm talking about, right? Someone says something and you interpret it one way, and someone says something else and you interpret it the other way. That's why we invent emojis. At least we don't use words. But I can imagine that the wording was kind of harsh, and I can imagine that my sister-in-law didn't feel so good about that because she did it with the best intention. I'm not trying to say this to review some of my personal privacy issue. I just wanted to use an example that these storms can come when you least expect it. When you least expect it. And it can be very minor storm. Nothing. It just was nothing. And yet it lingers in your mind. And if you're not careful, you might add to that conversation and then it makes it worse. So what do I do since 5:30 in the morning until now? What do? I do exactly what I said I do. I feel it, I accept it, and then I just let it go. There's no reason to add anything to it, right? I'm just using that as an example. I'm sure you have plenty. I'm sure we all have this. How do we deal with our everyday life, right? So I'm trying to organize this one event where we have a half-day workshop. This will be at the end of February. And it would be a really exciting event where we can bring people of different religious, spiritual practice together. And we're going to have a workshop to deal with our everyday life. And I call it mindfulness for the urban warriors. And that's who we are. That's who we are, right? We're in battle with ourselves, with others, with everybody. And so how do we maintain that balance? Don't say the wrong thing, right? It's just, you could even use the wrong emojis, right? So I call it the mindfulness for the urban warriors, how to find balance in our three-legged life. A life is like a stool. You know what? In Germany, stools have 5 legs. Germans like to be very redundant. They want to have 5 legs. They want to be very sturdy. In Japan, they only have 3. Well, because 3 is all you need. 3 defines a plane, remember? So you only need 3 legs. So in the US, we have 4, which is fine. And sometimes they rock and you kind of have to fix it. But 3, you don't rock. 3 defines a plane. So our life is like this three-legged stool. How do we find balance between our family, our career, and our health? And I often tell people, I say, look, you're going to lose one eventually. At any time, you could lose your health. But make sure you have a family and make sure you have a career. Or you could lose your career. Some you get a notice that you no longer need it. Now what do? You fall back on your health. Don't give up on your health. You fall back on your family. Don't give up your family. And then with two, you can fix the third. It's that simple, right? These days, I actually hear a lot of people uh, terminate their employment by themselves. I know of two people, and I'm tired. I just sent in my notice for 2 weeks notice. I said, why? I'm tired of morons. I'm tired of stupid. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's back to our practice. Okay, let's how we practice our practice. So we're going to continue with three exercise that is a traditional. Actually, it's not called Qigong. Right? Qigong is a very new word. It's actually called Nai Gong, internal energy. Internal energy. Okay, internal energy, and it's a very basic training. And so we use the first one to continue with a practice of how to deal with pain, suffering, and any kind of emotional uncomfort by just understanding that whatever it is that you feel, you only feel it at that moment. What's left is just the memory. And you need to accept that memory, accept what happens, and then find the strength and the courage to just let it go. Don't let that become you. Okay? All right. So let's try that. Now, the only thing that we do differently in this one is that we separate the left brain from the right brain. That's actually quite profound. We all understand that the brain's one side is responsible for our logic, our rationality, and the other side is responsible for our emotions, right? And sometimes when you deal with problem, you have to kind of understand that, well, this one is more of a logical problem, and then maybe I just laugh it all, use my emotion. Or this one is, very much my emotion. Well, I have to deal with it logically. If you're separated from your love, if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, and one day you decided that that's not compatible, that's an emotional problem. And so you have to find the strength and the courage to deal with rationally. Rationally. It's okay. Left brain, right brain. Okay. Okay. So let's try that. Let's try that. All right. Stretch our shoulder, open our shoulder, lean back, and then relax. Left hand, right hand. Okay. Now we're going to focus on the center of a right palm, which means that we're using our left brain, our more logical side. Now we're going to bring that right hand using our left brain in front of us very gently, very mindfully. And then we're going to open that shoulder, and definitely we are feeling the pain. Now we're going to accept the pain. And we're going to let go of the memory of pain by switching from the rational to the emotional. Now we focus on the left hand using our right brain, and then we're going to switch on. This is just a reminder, just a silly reminder that sometimes you have to switch your brain, switch your attitude, switch your perspective. Feel the pain, accept that pain, let go of the pain. Switching brain, left hand, right brain, open, feel the pain, accept that pain, and then let go of the pain. Right side, open, feel it, accept it, and then let it go. Left side, right brain, feel it, accept it, and then let it go. Right side, two more times. Feel it, accept it, and then let it go. Left side, feel it, accept it, and then let it go. Back to our sitting posture, which means focusing on your breath. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. One breath at a time. Now, you notice that whenever you finish an energetic exercise, you come back to your breath. Your breath is very rushed, which means that you were in fight or flight. Now, to calm down yourself, you do two things. One, understanding that the breath is actually the bridge between your body and your mind. And you want to slow down your mind, which means that you need to slow down your breath. And all you have to do is whisper to yourself to say, I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. And you notice that quickly the breath slows down, becomes very calm, which means that your mind is also very calm. You're now returning to the rest and digest. The second thing that you do that would help is you put the tip of the tongue behind the teeth. Put it where the teeth meets the roof of your mouth, but don't push it, just rest it there. And then as soon as you do that, you notice that there are slivers inside your mouth. And that tells you that you are definitely in rest and digest. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. One breath at a time. Okay, so we have two more exercise. We have two more exercise that we want to do, and that prepare us for the sitting meditation. Now, I said that there are two things that you would not want to do while you're sitting, because sitting meditation is a practice. It's a spiritual practice. Is when you want to observe your breath, observe the. Uh, um, but when you do that, you often two things will often happen. One is that you fall asleep. And then the other one is that your mind wanders away and becomes very agitated. So let me give you, so last time, a long time ago, when I first talked about how that when you meditate and you fall asleep, and we call that lazy Zen, and someone says, no, that's you're not understanding how important it is that it's an opportunity to rest. It's not so bad, right? I think I told this story, right? And Vineyard Buddhi Hall now comes to us twice a month, first and third week, third Tuesday, right? And I hope you guys either attend live or at least watch the video. And so Vineyard Buddhi Hall told the story once that he was meditating with his students in the prison. And usually when we do it they always have a small chapel. It's for people of different faith to practice. And so he was inside that chapel. All the students with him, they've been with him for many years. And all of a sudden, someone walked in, and everyone looked at him and said, "Wow!" and Ben Buddhi Hong didn't even know that. Didn't know who he is. Never met him, but all the other inmates know, and he's known to be very, very violent. And everybody stay away. And he came in, and he just boop, lie down, and he just went to sleep. And Very Young said, well, that's a good thing. He's at least relaxed. He's not afraid. He doesn't feel that he's intimidated, and he puts away his violence nature, which is really just a protection. So if I ever misunderstood the importance of sleeping meditation, let me apologize. But at least most of the time, we will not like to use that precious time to sleep. So one of the things that we will do is we're going to do an energetic exercise, make sure that you have very good circulations, especially oxygen into your brain, so you can stay wide awake during the meditation. The other thing that happens is that if you're not relaxed enough, then it's very difficult to focus. Right? Your mind is racing everywhere. Okay, so two exercises. The first one is an energetic exercise to get you more energy flow so you don't fall asleep during meditation. So first, we're going to lift up our shoulder, open our shoulder, lean back, and then relax. Now we're going to bring up our right hand and make a soft fist. We're going to follow our right hand, go towards upper left. Get ready. One, come back. One, come back. Down, sit up straight. Down, feel the vibration. Up, down, down, down. One last time. Down, down. Now open our fists, open our shoulders, sorry. Get ready. One, both hands. Two, three, four, and five. Okay? All right. Back to the sitting position and just focus on the breath. Again, understanding that we just did an energetic exercise. We want to bring our autonomous system from the sympathetic to the parasympathetic. I want you to feel the inside of your mouth, put the tip of the tongue behind the teeth and the roof of your mouth. Feel the inside of your mouth and just focus on your breath, one breath at a time. Bring yourself back into the rest and digest. One breath at a time. Okay. Now the very last exercise basically energize your vagus nerve, right? We want to understand that what vagus nerve is now, right? So it's a big part of your parasympathetic system. Okay. And the importance of bringing you back into the parasympathetic is to let your body give it a chance to restore the sensitivity to the stress hormone. When you're under stress all the time, your body is pumped up with cortisol, which is steroid. Over time, you lose sensitivity, develop what's called cortisol resistance. That cortisol is what you need to reduce chronic inflammation. And when you even lose sensitivity to your own medicine, then your body inflames, right? So it's very important to find that balance. That's all we do here is to find the balance. Going back to where we were when we were first born, when we had the balance, when we had the harmony, learning how to breathe for the stomach. We're going to do that. But for now, we're going to just relax, starting with our neck, the back of the ear, all the way down, around the back, and then now, do you know the vagus nerve, right? It actually finally connected to the inside, and it's done through the connective tissue. The mother of all connective tissue is the diaphragm. And so this one actually incorporates the deep breathing into the body movement. It's a very simple exercise. First, we're going to sit up straight, lift up our shoulder, open our shoulder, lean back, and then relax. Now we're going to take a thumb, we're going to pivot our thumb, forming a pivot in front of this energy point. Now you find this, you push down, there's a cavity, and then we just kind of let the fingers loose, right? All right. So now we bring in our shoulder first. Bring in our shoulder. Bring in our shoulder. Now we're going to listen to the bring in our shoulder. We're going to listen to the elbow. Follow the elbow. First, we're going to lift up the elbow. The entire body go towards the ceiling, lifting up our shoulder all the way to the ear. Now we're going to listen to the elbow, right? So elbow point back. We're going to open that shoulder all the way back. Again, listening to the elbow. As we drop the elbow, we relax. And finally, we point the elbow forward. All this time, pivoting your thumb into the front of your shoulder. Okay, now from here, we go up. Point the elbow towards the ceiling, lifting up. And then we go back, opening the shoulder, head slightly pointing to the ceiling. And then we're going to lower the elbow all the way down, pointing the elbow forward. As we lift up, we take a in breath all the way in until we get to the end. And then as we come down, we breathe out all the way out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. All the way in, breathe in, breathe out. Now let me stop, and I want to explain something, and then we continue. It's very important to understand how this exercise works. Again, the breath is the bridge between your mind and your body. Okay, understand that. Now, what is your mind? Your mind is the intention, right? Right? It's the intention. But the intention actually comes in two parts. One is concentration, right? I want to concentrate on my elbow. The second part is persistence. It's not just one time, but all the way, every time. So that together is your intention. Intention is your mind, body. The bridge is the breath. So as you do this, you focus, you anchor your mind on your elbow understanding that it's not just one cycle, but one cycle at a time. There's a beginning and an end. The beginning is when you do a check and you say, where's my mind? Oh, my mind is somewhere else again. Well, it's okay. Bring it back to the elbow. Okay, that is the beginning, right? That's how you concentrate. Now, when you get to the end of the cycle, that's your persistence. That's when you say, that was one cycle. Let me do it another cycle. Intention, persistence is attention and persistence. That together is your intention. That's your mind. And then you focus on the breath. You don't focus on the rest of the body. You focus on the breath. You want to build a bridge, right? Okay, your breath is a bridge. So you focus on your breath, not focusing on the body. Many times we focus on the body, thinking that this is just an exercise of the body. It is not. It's an exercise of your breath. Okay, now get ready. Understand now, right? Okay, now follow the elbow all the way up. Follow the elbow back. Follow the elbow down. Follow the elbow forward. Remember now, intention is concentration and persistence, right? Okay, now we focus on the breath. Breathing in and then breathing out. Let the body follow. Accept the body as what it is. Don't judge your body. Just concentrate on your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. In, out. In, out. Two more times. Breathing in, breathing out. One last time. Breathing in, breathing out. Now relax. Okay. Now this exercise, practicing Qi, is actually very profound. In the process of practicing Qi, and then once again, Qi is in two levels. Very basic level is just the breath. Just the breath. But think about what's happening with your breath. You're taking in oxygen that ultimately goes in the liver, and it goes into your lung, and then the lung actually distributes the oxygen into your blood, and the blood eventually comes into your spine. Right, your spine is just a protective armor. Inside is your bone marrow. Your bone marrow is your source of life. That's where you generate your red blood cell, and then also the white blood cell. So that's both your life energy and your immunity. It's all there. It's just all in the spine. Everything else just supports that, right? So as you breathe in with the oxygen, starting with just the breath, it becomes life energy. It's a different way of writing the same word. So right now we're just focusing on the breath, but understanding that ultimately it becomes life energy in your spine, and then eventually goes to the top of your head, and the brain is just an extension of the spine. So as you practice what is so-called Qigong, practice of Qi, you become internalizing your existence, and you're letting go of your body. You're accepting your body, and you start to focus your existence internally, and you're understanding who I am, right? How does my emotion start? How do I deal with them? How do I prevent myself from falling into the deep of anxiety and depression? Because you want to focus internally. So I talk about the conversation that, not so much conversation, they were just kind of, I don't call it yelling, but it's just, this one says this and this one says that. Everybody's expressing how they feel about mental health and how our generation, I'm 70, my brother is just 3 years younger. We're in that generation, we're looking at the youth and, they're having all kinds of emotional problems. How do we deal with all that? Well, whether you're young or old, the reasons that we have so much emotional problem these days is because there's so much expectation. Parents are expected to do what they do, and kids are expected to do what they do. They're among peers. It is too much expectation. And all that expectation comes from advertising. It comes from either advertising for merchandise or advertising for political positions. And you're constantly living on your body, right? So Qigong is basically bringing understanding that you want to have good emotional health, then you build a bridge and you start to focus internally, understanding who you are, understanding your breath. It's kind of interesting, okay? So we're going to focus on the breath, right? All right. So we're going to do that when we get down on the floor. We still have time, right? And before we do that, we're going to sit and pay attention to our breath. Learn to understanding our existence through a breath. A breath is the existence, right? Every breath from the beginning to the end represents your life. When you were born as a baby, your first breath is in breath. And your last breath is going to be out breath. So think about that. How many breaths do you take from the beginning to the end of your life cycle? Which means that each breath is representing of a life cycle. So I want you to see if you can understand your breath by just focusing on it. So first we're going to do what I call knowing. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. I can feel myself breathing in. I can feel myself breathing out. Now go from knowing to anchoring. So now I'm going to anchor my mind on my belly button. And when I know that I'm breathing in, I'm going to relax my stomach as if I'm pointing my belly button forward. And then when I breathe out, I'm going to collapse my stomach, bringing my belly button back, focusing my mind on my belly button, anchoring my mind on my belly button. So we go from knowing to anchoring, one breath at a time. Now, today I'm going to jump to observing because the time to do all that is after we do the tuna, the breathing exercise. This is just a warm up. Now, I want you to anchor your mind on the very bottom of your spine. And when you can feel that you're breathing in, I want you to go from the bottom of the spine, walk up the spine, stretch the spine upward until you get to the top of your head. And then when you breathe out, I want you to lean back and go from the top of the head to your forehead, in between your eyebrow to the tip of your nose, come down through the tongue and come back to the belly button and lean back and relax. As you breathe in, stretch. As you breathe out, lean back and relax. Breathe in, stretch. Breathe out, lean back and relax. When you breathe in, you feel the energy rising on your spine. It's very physiological because you're taking in oxygen. The lung puts it in your bloodstream. Ultimately, it goes in your spine. So as you go from the bottom of your spine, this energy point called the gate of life. And you rise to the top of the head, this energy point called the 100 meet, where all the yang energy comes together. You feel life. You feel the beginning of life. But as you come down, you're breathing out carbon dioxide. You're taking all the toxic air from your body and you exhale. As you exhale, you lean back. All of a sudden, you said to yourself, oh, don't, that's enough. I'm going to fall. Well, that's the fear associate with end of a life cycle. We all need to face that. And that's when you said to yourself, that is just my mind not accepting the reality of the end of a life cycle. I'm going to completely accept that. I'm going to accept that, and I'm going to settle that thought as if I have a lotus pond in my belly. I just let it settle to the bottom of my lotus pond. Let it stay with the mud. But I'm going to focus on top of the lotus pond, focusing on the water. Stay as calm as I can, as if I am seeing a mirror reflecting the sun or the moon. I can see a lotus flower rising from the mud. And then when you breathe in again, you stretch your spine, feeling the beginning of life. And then as you breathe out, you lean back, you start to feel that anxiety when you're facing the end of a life cycle. And you lean back as much as you can. Now we need to learn to accept that anxiety. Just like we accept the pain on the shoulder. I feel it, I accept it, but I'm going to let it go by settling it down to the bottom of my lotus pond. And don't jump into the bottom of the pond. I stay on top of the pond. I see the reflection. I see the lotus flower. I want to rise above the mud. Breathe in, rise. Feel the life. Breathe out, lean back. Accept that anxiety. Accept that end of a one life cycle as you breathe out. Let's sit for 5 minutes. Meditate on the breath, one breath at a time. Try not to fall asleep. Try not to wander around. Remember what I said about intention. Both focus, concentration, and persistence, one breath at a time. This is a bootcamp, remember? This is where you train yourself to deal with the adversity that we face every day as an urban warrior. One breath at a time. One breath at a time. I know I'm breathing in. I can feel the life in me. All the oxygens that I breathe eventually end up in my spine, giving myself life, giving myself the red blood cell, giving myself the white blood cell. And then when I breathe out, I accept that this is the end of one life cycle. And I'm going to learn to let it go. Let go of your fear. Let go of your anxiety. Accept them and just let it go. Focus on your belly button, one breath at a time. Okay? All right. So we keep learning, keep practicing, okay? Okay, now we're going to do more exercise to give ourselves more life energy, more yang energy. And the yang energies are in the spine, in the back, outside the shoulder, outside the arm. So we're going to be doing some stretching, mainly stretching the connective tissue, okay? In between the muscles. We're going to take deep breath 3 deep breaths. The most important connective tissue is your diaphragm. So back to the shoulder, lift up the shoulder, open the shoulder, lean back, and then relax some more. We're now going to put our fingers together, locking them, put that in front of your belly, but looking straight ahead. We're going to follow the center of the palm. We're going to bring it towards our nose, and we're going to breathe in. Flip a hand, follow the center of the palm, looking up, breathe out. We're going to lock an elbow, looking straight ahead. Unlock our fingers, pretending that there's 2 big rocks on the side, and we're going to climb that mountain, stretching our elbow, using our shoulder. Back to the center of the palm, breathing in, breathing out, looking straight ahead. Climb the mountain, stretching our shoulder and our elbow. One last time, breathing in, breathing out, looking straight ahead. Climb the mountain. Back to locking fingers again, palm facing up. Turn, palm facing down. Push until I lock my elbow. Looking straight ahead, follow the center of the palm. Bring it in front of you. Bring it on top of you. Forming a straight line between the bottom of your spine, the top of the head, and the center of your palm. And you push, stretching the spine. Push as hard as you can. And then we're going to lean back, bending the spine. Come back to the middle. Push again. Entire body lean to the left, bending our spine. Come back to the middle. Push. Leaning to the right. Bending our spine to the right. Come back to the middle. Push to the left. Come back to the middle. Push one last time to the right. Come back to the middle. Now focus on the center of your palm. Bring it back down. Open your shoulder again. Relax. We're going to take a right hand, put that on the left shoulder. Lean back. So you're putting pressure on the right shoulder. Taking your left hand, grab the right elbow. Sit up straight and stretch the spine to the right, to the left. Come back. Looking straight ahead. Change hand. Putting your left hand behind your right shoulder. Lean back so you're putting pressure on the left shoulder. Take your right hand, put that on your left elbow, and stretch to the right. And then come back and relax, returning us to the rest and digest, one breath at a time. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Open that shoulder again. Lean back, relax. Take your right hand, palm facing up. Take your left hand, palm facing down. Open that shoulder. Now we're going to push as if the sky has fallen and you're pushing the sky up. Lock your elbow, wrist at 90 degrees. Now focus on the left hand. Push down until you lock your elbow as if you're pushing the earth down. And wrist at 90 degrees. Now take the right hand, lean back. Turn your head to the left. Stop at the shoulder. Keep turning your eyeball as if you're looking your back. We're stretching that very important tendon in the back of our eye, and then bring everything back, and then relax. Do the other hand, open the shoulder, palm facing forward, wrist at 90 degrees, push, lock your elbow, wrist at 90 degrees, right hand, push, lock your elbow, wrist at 90 degrees, bring back to the left hand, turn your head to the right, stop at the shoulder, turn your eyeballs to the back, bring everything back, and then relax back to our breath, one breath at a time. Now we're going to stretch the spine. So sit up straight, open the shoulder, looking straight ahead, fingers locking, palm facing up. Put that at the lower part of your spine. Now turn your hand so palm facing down. Push until you lock your elbow, palm facing down. Now, top of the head and the center of your palm, okay? Now, push the hands down and stretch as if you're stretching, pointing the top of your head to the ceiling. One up, one down. Stretch as hard as you can. and then relax. Lean back your forehead so you're looking at the ceiling 45 degree. Focus on the center of your palm. Bring it up as hard as you can. And then relax. Back to the breathing. Notice that every time we do an energetic exercise, we have to develop this habit of slowing down, coming back to the safety and the security of a cave. Back to the rest and digest. Back to the yin. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Now open the shoulder again, looking straight ahead. Right hand touching your back. Looking straight ahead. Lift up your right shoulder. Stretch that right part of your body. And then the other hand, looking straight ahead. Stretch the left side of your body up. And then relax. Back to the breath. Now take your right hand, back of the hand at the lower part of your spine. Take two fingers pointed to your left shoulder. Lower your right shoulder and pointing your fingers up. Stretch and then relax. The other side, looking straight ahead. Lower your left shoulder and pointing your fingers up. Now, put your fingers together, looking straight ahead. Right shoulder up, left shoulder down, and then the other side. Okay? This is getting harder and harder. Now, looking straight ahead, left shoulder up, right shoulder down, and then back to breathing. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. One breath at a time. Okay, one last exercise. I'll call that the reverse Buddha. You take two hands, palm face touching, fingers pointing down. Put that on your lower back. Flip so the fingers are pointing up. You bring it up as much as you can. Try to put the palm, the center of your palm together. Looking straight ahead. You open your shoulder, you push your palm forward. One back, one forward. And then relax. Don't forget, back to the breath first. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Okay? All right. So now we're ready to do our floor exercise, working towards our tuna, or in Sanskrit, it would be called prana. That's breathing. Yama, that's exercise. Okay? So we're going to do our joints. So we had the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder. Now we have the heel, the knee, and a hip. Okay? First, the knee. Loosen up your knee, focus on your knee, turn it very mindfully. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now going from the knee to the heel, first the right heel. Lift up your right heel. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Now we're going to learn to stand on our toes. So people always talk about the 3 exercises you need to do as you age: stretching, cardio, and muscle. There's a 4th, balance. Actually, very important. Balancing. Using your left brain and right brain separately. Okay. Now we're going to stand firmly on the ground. We're going to open up our shoulder. And the key is to lock your eyesight towards the front. If you don't lock your eyesight and you stand on your toes, you're afraid that you will lose balance. That fear, right? Don't let that fear come in, right? Just like the key to aging is don't let that old man come in, right? The old guy, right? That old guy has nothing to do with me. Now looking straight ahead, and then just gently stand on your toes, lift up your heel, focusing on the top of your head, and then come down. Excuse me. I have a cat and 2 dogs in the house right now. So lots of little things that runs around, hair or whatever. Okay, now let's try 3 more times. Okay, let's try 3 more times. This is a very good exercise. Stand on your toes and then lower your heel. Okay, very gently on the carpet, not on the hard floor. Stand on your toes and then down. One last time. Stand on your toes and then down. Okay, now we're going to do more balance exercise by balancing, putting the weight of your entire body on your left foot. Once you think that you have the balance, you now focus on the right foot and you focus on the heel. You bring it up, you're looking straight ahead, and you go 1, 2, 3. Okay, now you lean to the right, balance, putting the weight on top of the right foot. Then you bring up your left foot, focusing on the heel, looking straight ahead. 1, 2, 3. Okay, you notice that I do the right side much better than I do the left side because I'm a left brain kind of guy, right? Okay, hip is very important. Hip is very important. Modern people, we don't exercise the hip as much, right? And so when you fall, you have no way of coming back. You just fall like a sack of potato. Okay, so how do we exercise the hip? We stand on the right foot, looking straight ahead, straighten up our back, put the hands in front, follow the hand, lean back to the left, right toes are up. You need to pivot on the heel, okay? Now you form a straight line between the left heel, the knee, the hip, and the shoulder, and you turn, you don't stop, you get to the end and you stretch some more. Then you lean towards, you come back, straighten up your back, lean back, and then turn, turn, and then forward, and then relax, looking straight ahead one last time, and then relax, okay? That's for the left hip. Now to the right. Lean back, form that straight line, twist, forward, and then relax. Back, forward, and then relax. Back, forward, and then relax. Okay? Okay, so now we're ready, right? Now keep in mind that this is not just about exercise of the body, it's an exercise of the mind and the body, using the breath as the bridge. So remember what I said now. Your mind is your intention. Your intention has concentration and persistence, and then the breath. And then focusing on the breath, let the body follow. Don't judge your body, okay? Judge your internal, which is your breath, okay? Don't let other people judge you. Don't even judge yourself. Just let it go. Focus on the center of your hand. Bring it up, 1. Bring it back, 2. Lower your hand, lower your knee, looking straight ahead. And then 3, 4, and relax. Bring it up, breathe in, breathe out. Focusing on your breath. Let the body follow. Breathe in, breathe out. Concentration and persistence. In the beginning of the cycle, remind yourself to concentrate. As you go from the beginning to the end, remind yourself to be persistent. Breathing in, and now focus on the breath. Let the body follow. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, cross your hand high enough you can see it with the corner of your eye. Breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. It's a meditation. It's a mindfulness in motion, right? Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. 2 more times. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay. Now we're going to go from movement to still. We're going to do a 1-minute standing meditation. So focus on your breath. I know I'm breathing in. That's the beginning. I know and breathing out. That's the end of one life cycle. In the beginning, feel the change in your body. And then when you get to the end, you're understanding that end of one cycle is the beginning of another. So get ready for the next cycle. Breathing in, breathing out. Okay, now the next one is called the balloon breathing. Right foot first, lean back, toes pointing up, looking 45 degrees. Raise your hand so you can see it with the corner of your eye. Now try to keep your body straight. So roll your body forward. Right heel, left heel is up. Roll your body back. As you follow your hand, go forward, breathing in, and then breathe out. Don't stop. All the way out. Let your body follow. Don't judge your body. Breathing in, breathing out. Relax. Let your body breathe in on its own. Breathe out. The diaphragm is like a big old rubber band, okay? As you breathe in, as you breathe out, you're stretching the rubber band one way and then stretch it the other way. Breathe out. And then just let the rubber band do its thing. Breathe in on your own, on its own. If you try to do two, both in and out intentionally, then you're going to get hyperventilated. So just do one, breathing out, very intention, and then let the body follow. One more time, two more times, breathe out, relax, breathe in. One last time, breathe out, and then relax. Okay? Now come back to the standing position. Stay focused on your breath. Again, your breath in and out is one cycle. In the beginning, you said, I intend to focus on my breath. You stay focused, you make the commitment from the beginning to the end. And then the end is the beginning of the next cycle. And that's when you tell yourself, I do it for one cycle, I can do it for another one. Just another one at a time. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Okay, now to the left. Left foot first. Lean back, toes are up. Bring up your hand high enough you can see it with the corner of your eye. Roll your body forward, breathing in. Roll your body back, breathing out, all the way out. Focus on your breath. Let the body follow. Breathing in, and then breathing out. Breathe out. Relax. Let the air come in on its own. Breathe out. Breathe out. You're training your diaphragm. You're training your diaphragm. Breathe out. You open your lung cage and you breathe out, meaning that you're asking the diaphragm to push the air out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One last time. Breathe in. And then breathe out. Now, stay focused on the center of your palm. Now go from the center of your palm to the bottom of your feet. And then from there, we go into 1 minute of standing meditation, one breath at a time, one cycle at a time. Stay focused, stay focused. Anchor your mind on your breath. Imagine you're in the middle of the storm. Things are happening around you. Stay focused. Okay. All right. Now we do what's called the butterfly. So again, you look straight ahead. Open your shoulder. Focus on the center of your palm. Bring it up. And then bring it down. Lower your body. Bring it back up. Raise your heel. Follow the center of your palm until you're on top of your head. Back of the hand are touching. As you come down, you breathe in gently. And then as you go up, you breathe out. You don't stop. You go all the way up, right? And then relax. Let the body breathe in on its own. Breathe out. Stand on your toe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Two more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. One last time. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then lower your hand. Back to your breathing. One breath at a time. Okay, now the next one's called push hand. So you say, oh, that looks a lot like Tai Chi. Well, it is Tai Chi. So it is Tai Chi in the sense that you need to have your hand, mainly your wrist, and your feet, mainly your heel, to be one. You need your elbow and your knee to be one, and you need your shoulder and your hip to be one. That's the external. Now, internal, and is what I said, the breath is the bridge between your mind and your body. Your mind is your intention. It is both the concentration and the persistence. But with understanding that breath is in the middle. Okay? So you need to focus on the breath and let the breath be one with your mind and let the breath be one with your body. But focus on the breath first. So you're looking straight ahead now. You focus on your center of your palm. You see the water wheel in front of you. That's going to help you. As you lean forward, you bring up your hand as if you're gliding on the outside of the water wheel to the front, to the top. And as you glide from the down, you lower your left knee until your hand is at the two sides of your wrist, waist. And then you look straight ahead to see, and you see the center of the water wheel, and you push. As you come up, you breathe in or you open your shoulder, you bring it down. As you breathe out, you keep your body straight as if you're pushing from the back of your hip, and you breathe out. Breathe in. Now, the key here is that it is Tai Chi, except that my master called no judging Tai Chi. I'm not judging. I'm feeling. I feel that I'm breathing in. I feel that I'm breathing out. Feel my body, feel my breath. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Push. Breathing in. Breathing out. You're actually cycling between your two autonomous nerve system. As you breathe in, that's your fight or flight. As you breathe out, that's your rest and digest. Out. In. Out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Two more times. Breathe in. We're meditating. We're meditating. We're doing mindfulness in motion. One last time. Breathe in. And then breathe out. Come back. Back to the breath. Left. Ready? Breathe in. Very slow. Very attentive. Breathe out. Don't judge. Just feel your body changing as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Breathing in. Breathing out. One breath at a time. Out. Breathing in. Two more times. Breathing in. Breathing out. One last time. Breathing in. Breathing out. Back to the standing. This is the last 1 minute standing meditation. I know I'm breathing in. Okay, Now, then come to the last one, which basically is less about breathing exercise and more about relieving some of the what we call the adrenal fatigue. Okay, and very simple. Focus on your hand. As you bring them up, you breathe in, and then open your knee. As you go down, you breathe out, and when you get to the bottom, stretch forward. And then when you come back up, you breathe in, and when you get to the top, you bend back, and then relax. Second time, breathe out, breathe in, and then relax. One last time, breathe out, and then breathe in, and then relax. Walk back to your seat. Focus on the bottom of your feet. 1 step, 2 step, 3 step. As you approach your sitting position, focus on the center of your palm. And stay focused as you sit down. Feel how you're sitting down. Come back to the posture. And we're going to do breathing exercise and meditation at the same time. Meditating on our Qi. First, you stretch your spine, you open your shoulder, you lean back, you relax. You lean back your forehead, you tuck in your chin, you relax your eyelid, and then you put the tip of the tongue behind your teeth, where the teeth meets the roof of your mouth, and you focus on your breath. First, I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Now that's easy now, right? Because you just did a whole bunch of exercise for your diaphragm. And so we go from knowing to anchoring. Anchoring your mind on the belly button. As you breathe in, relax the stomach, pointing the belly button forward. As you breathe out, tuck in the stomach, pointing the belly button back. That gets easier too because of the breathing exercise. Your diaphragm now has what we call the muscle memory. So more or less you're breathing with the diaphragm. So it's easy to feel your stomach moving. So now we jump to the third, which is observation. Focus on the bottom of your spine. As you breathe in, move from the bottom of the spine to the top of the head. Observe the change in your body. Observe the life energy. That's the beginning of life. And then as you breathe out, you lean back, you relax, going from the top of the head to the belly button. I feel that I'm breathing in. I feel that I'm breathing out. One breath at a time. And again, the breath is the bridge between your mind and your body. The mind is your intention, which starts with concentration, anchoring. Anchoring your mind on your breath, anchoring your mind on your body. That intention needs to be reinforced with persistence. So that in the beginning, make sure that your mind is actually on your body, actually on your breath. And then when you finish with one cycle, understanding that the end of one life cycle is the beginning of another. So you need to recommit one breath at a time. All this time we don't judge, we just feel. It's a sensation. In the English language, the word feeling implies judging. Oh, you hurt my feeling. It means that we already judge. So I rather use the word sensation. Sensation is when we call these sense doors. The eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, and your body. They're each door to your mind. When light comes into your eye, when sound goes into your ear, when smell goes in your nose, and taste goes to your tongue, and touch goes into the body, they generate electrical signal. All those electrical signal travels in your nerve system, and they get into your spine. From the spine, they collect, and then from the spine, it gets into your brain. So when I talk about sensation, I'm talking about how they get collected into your spine. And when I talk about judging, is when they go into your brain. So this practice in the Tibetan tradition is a very simple description. It just says, rest your brain. Rest your brain. Give it a rest. Now, when your body touches the outside or when your nose smells something, that electrical signal travels at the speed of light. It's about 1 billion cycles, or was it 10 billion cycles per second? Very fast. But when it goes in your brain and you start processing all that, and ultimately comes into a judgment, it's only 10 cycles a second. So sensation is actually 1 billion times faster than judging. Imagine you're a CEO, a chief executive officer. Anybody can be a CEO, right? I run the food stand. I'm a CEO. I run a big corporation. I am a CEO. And what you find is that the bigger the organization, the less thinking you do. It's all about sensation. It's all about sensation. It's less about judging. It's all about feeling people around you, being empathetic to them, and not so much about expressing yourself. So in the beginning of class, I said, I woke up this morning, I see these messages going back and forth between my siblings. They're not listening, they're talking. They're not feeling, they're not sensing, they're just expressing. So that's just the brain working. The spine is not working. When you run the big corporations like I did once, you have to trust the experts, right? You got 200 people working for you. You're trying to do the impossible. Everyone is the expert. And that's why you hire them in the first place. So I can't afford to judge them. Not at all. But I can sense them. I can't say whether they're telling me the truth because I'm not the expert. But I can sense their consistency. I can feel them. And I can say to myself, did he say that yesterday? Or is he changing his story? If he's changing his story, he's lying to me. Right? So that's the power of sensation without judging. I see the pattern in him. And I trust that. Because I can't trust anything else. Coming back to our everyday life, trust yourself. Trust the sensation. Don't let that thinking part become you. Because the minute you think, you're following your own emotion. You're not seeing it in front of you. You're talking, you're talking, you're talking. Everybody's talking and nobody's listening. That's what empathy is all about. Empathy is just listening. When your child has difficulty, they don't always want you to solve the problem. They don't want you to judge them. They just want you to listen. It's not that hard. If you know your own emotion and you can put that aside and say, that's just a memory of what I think is happening. I'm not seeing in front of me because I'm not focusing on my breath and I'm not focusing on my body and I'm not focusing on them. Let us all be blessed with health, with happiness, and with peace, especially peace within ourselves. And may all beings be happy. May all beings be free of spiritual suffering. And may all beings be free of physical suffering. And may all beings be protected with compassion, loving kindness, empathy, and equanimity. Namaste. I'll see you all next week. I hope that 1.5 hour bootcamp was well spent. And that was Saturday. Thank you for your. She had a good time. Was happy. Everyone was happy. Okay, see you all next week. Okay, bye bye. 星期一見。多謝 Dennis。好，多謝大家支持。OK，拜拜。